Everyone, welcome to today's session for automating your mundane tasks with Power Automate. Power Automate, if you've never heard of it, today is the best session where you know all about it. Okay, and before I start, thank you to Cloud Lunch and Learn Marathon team for giving me this opportunity. I'll give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Roma Gupta. I am from India, but I'm in South Africa from past 5 years now. In my day job, or let's say 24/7, I am a Dynamics 365 and Power Platform consultant. I love doing data migrations. So Azure Data Factory and Scribe are some of the cool tools that I love. I also have a love for Power BI for the all because I have a side gig of doing the data analysis and telling my customers like what is good and bad with their data. So I have those side gig and that's why I love Power BI because it is so easy to use. I also built some applications to check the performance, so I can tell you all the stats, that you would need to know how many time it took to send XYZ out from CRM. Anyway, I'm also business applications MVP, and you can reach out to me on Twitter. Come say hi at that techie girl, and on LinkedIn with the same name. So let's move on and have a quick look on what are the contents that we're gonna see today. So I'm not going to bore you with the PowerPoint presentation stuff a lot. We're gonna jump quickly onto the hands-on. There are a few sections that I would like to cover is connectors, templates, and the type of flows. It's just giving you a quick overview of what they are and how to use them in your daily life. All right. So let's see. Connectors. There are more than 250 connectors available for you to use out of the box. What is out of the box? Out of the box is you don't have to make anything, they are available on a click away. All right. So before I give you an introduction about connectors, let's see a quick thing about the Power Platform family. Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents together combining creates the Power Platform. Power BI is for the analytics and insight stuffs. This is for your all reporting queries. So if you've never used it, go have a look. You will love it. Power Apps is for all the low code, no code development, or let's say that fancy mobile apps that you don't know how to make it. Power Apps is the way to go. Get those fancy app created today and get back to me and tell me, tag me what did you create, and maybe we can give you a demo. All right. Power Automate is the section which I'm going to talk to you about today. This is the one which integrates perfectly fine with any of the applications, including Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents are the chatbots that can answer your queries without any human present. It is based on some configurations, but at any point of time, if you want to really talk to a human and not to a bot, Power Virtual Agent will transfer your call to a human. On the other side of it, we have the data connectors, AI Builder, and Dataverse. That gives the entire Power Platform another peak, or let's say another level to the entire Microsoft Power Platform family. So combining all of this, we are going to kick some good ass today. Anyway, let's move on. So these are the connectors that are available out of the box. Some of the connectors that we have been using so frequently in our daily life, but we don't know, is Microsoft Teams. Then we have Power BI, Outlook, SharePoint, OneDrive, Microsoft Forms, Google Calendar, of course, that is something by default in your mobile. If you don't know, or let's say in your Android applications, we all know about Gmail and Twitter, of course. Please also note that these connectors are free. When I say free, that means you don't have to use license, but please make sure that there are a small thing called premium written under some of the connectors. The meaning is you cannot use these connectors until you have a license. So you would, and similarly for common dataverse. So uh, this is also under premium. You would need a license, but for rest of the connectors, and there are many more, go have a look, check it out, and see if you can leverage and get all your fancy boring stuff, that you are bored of doing, into a fancy magical thing, and you can use your extra time for those coffees. Templates. Templates in a layman term is something that is already there and you just have to use it. In the same way, Power Automate also has templates that you want to use it and it's already created for you. You just configure, give your user ID and password, and it will take care for the rest. So some of the templates that we have is the MSN template that if you want a weather update every day on a group or something, you can use this. If you want to save your Outlook or Gmail attachments to your OneDrive or Dropbox, you can use these two templates. And similarly, there are a lot more, but I've just taken some screenshots, right? But we're gonna do a deep dive on these templates also on the demo section. I will not take much time on the power presentations, I promise. And please make sure you're not sleeping. Ask those questions that you don't know yet. Moving on, we have types of flows. There are 5 types of flows that are available in Flow for you to use. The automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, and scheduled cloud flow can be used on your free account. You don't need a license for those. Desktop flow and business process flow would need a license. Coming back to automated cloud flow, these are usually triggered by an event, right? The event could be as simple as a value is updated on an Excel file, or let's say the value was deleted, and then a line of or series of events should happen. Then automated cloud flow is your way to go. The instant cloud flow is where a human intervene would be required, and you want or you are clicking a button, or you are asking the flow to run because you have attained certain necessary steps. This will not run on its own. It will always need a human intervention, right? It can be as simple as type a yes or give an approval to flow to run. But automated cloud flow, on the other hand, is based on the triggers, and there is no human intervention required. Moving on to the scheduled cloud flow, this is my favorite because of the ability it gives you to run on any day, any time, and any time zone. So if you are very sure that let's say by 10 o'clock Monday you will have all your data ready and you want to give that email, so get that template ready on your own and shoot out the flow at 10 o'clock, and it will give you the desired output, and it can even send the emails to your team members or integrate with your Microsoft Teams for that matter. Desktop flow. Desktop flow is more on the Power Automate desktop and all the desktop application processes that you would want to run. Business process flow. This is very specific to Dynamics CRM 365. It was already there. If you're not aware, I would like to update you in simple terms that a customer or a user cannot go to step B from A until certain fields or certain values or certain levels are achieved under step A. So if you have to move from A to B, you must compulsorily update or complete your steps under A. All right. So those are under business process flows. I am going to show you, let's say, automated cloud flow example today and one of the scheduled cloud flow example, because these are very easy for you or for us to use in our day-to-day life. Before I move on to the demo part, I know all of you are waiting for it, and I would just like to tell you that as a next steps, there are learning paths available for us to use. And if you know where to start, I would always suggest you to go to the learning paths that everyone has created just for you. The entire Microsoft family has created. So please go leverage it and learn, and do tag MS Learn on Twitter and let us know that you're learning it. Then do create your free environment, and the free connectors are there, so use it. And then please come say hi, raise all your queries on the Power Automate community. I will quickly jump onto the demo. What I've done is I have opened on my incognito tab flow.microsoft.com. If you see this one, uh, I've logged in from my personal user, and you can see there is only one environment as default environment created. Please note, if you have multiple environments, right, the need for multiple environments, and you're using it for your office, your Office 365 user will assign you a license, and also he will create the necessary environment for you, uh, and not you will you will not create on it on your own. Make sure to give very specific name to environment as per the use or usage of the environment. So let's say there is a development environment, there is a QA or UAT environment, and then there is a production environment. So be very sure on how to use it. Whenever you will log on to flow.microsoft.com, you will always land on this very page. Okay, and as you see on the left side, I've got some items, templates, connectors, data. Under data, I've got my tables and custom connectors, gateways. We have AI builder. I have got monitor. Monitor will show you how your flow is doing. We also have process advisor, but make sure this is under preview, so don't use it on your production environments. I'll come back to the flows and create in a short time. I just want to show you that if you scroll below, you can see that your templates and your connectors are also available here. The popular services are already mentioned. If I go below, I can see some of the examples, and there is a learn more section which you can leverage for getting extra knowledge. There are multi-step flows which have more than one step, or let's say more than one connectors to get the task done. So these are under multi-step flows. There are some approve request templates. This would mean that it will send an automatic message or a Teams message to your manager or to the approver and get the task done before you actually sending an email to yourself. You can get the mobile app so that you don't have to always log in here and work. You can always click from your mobile to get the flow working done. Coming back, connectors are a specific section over here. So I took a screenshot from here, and we have the popular connectors listed up front. You can always make use of the standard and premium connectors so that you know what are under premium and standard. If I click on premium, it's going to show me all the premium connectors. All right, and this, so there's a Salesforce, there's Azure DevOps. Some of you have known this, Adobe PDF tools, Amazon Redshift, and then Aside. If you have not heard about it, no stress. It's always good to know something new. Coming back to some standard connectors. So all the connectors that are listed over here are free of cost. I mean, they would need, they will not charge you. You will not need a license for them to use. So I'm going to show you in today's demo how to use the RSS feed. Why RSS feed? Because you don't have to always Google stuff, right? You can always get the information delivered in your own inbox. Let's just say that. And then second would be leveraging Excel Online, because that is another file that we use a lot in our daily life. Okay, I'm going back to templates. Over here, the templates are listed down by popularity by default. You can always sort it by name or publish time, or you can always search the template. So if I want to search, let's say Instagram, I did not find it because I have half typed it. Let's just say again. So if you see now, for the Instagram, it also has some out-of-box templates for you to use. So you can even save photos from your Instagram to OneDrive, or share your Instagram photos to Twitter. So the template is already there. So if I click on this one, Instagram photos to Twitter, you will see it will take some time and then it will open. If you notice, my Twitter was already logged in with my account, that techie girl. So that's the reason it's showing a green checkbox. For Instagram, it's asking me to sign in. So as soon as I click here, it would want me to authenticate. Okay, I'm not doing that for now. Going back. So in this way, you can leverage all the templates that are listed here. So I would like to give you a suggestion over here is, before you make any template or before you make use of any new flow from scratch, please come here, have a look of your use case. There might be a template available and just make use of it. I am going to show you my flows. The my flows sections is all the flows that I created. Okay. For my first use case, I'm going to show you the RSS connector. I'm going to click on edit. So if you have noticed, there is a name over here. You can always click here and change the name to, let's say I'm just adding test. Okay. And if you click on save, and the test is safe, so that it is that easy to even rename it. Okay, but I'm going to remove the test. It's not a test one, it's a real one. I'll save it again. So if you also notice, every time this is saved, it will say your flow is ready to go and we recommend you to test it. This is the best thing, that a notification is being sent to the end user that you know what to do next with your flow. Over here, this is a very small and sweet flow. The reason is it has a RSS feed connector, a Twitter and a LinkedIn. For some reason, I did not wanted the same information to flow on my email box. So I deleted the email section. Okay, what it is doing on a high level is, whenever a RSS feed blog is posted, okay, it will go and post a tweet about it, and it will also share an article, meaning that whenever you open the tweet or an article, you will know that a new thing has been published and you don't have to Google about it, right? So over here, as the name suggests, this is related to the Power Automate RSS feed. What is Power Automate RSS feed? This is specific URL that speaks to Power Automate family. Okay, so let me click over here. I'm copy pasting this. Let's just remove the feed for now. And if you see this took us to the Power Automate blogs, right? If I scroll below, I can see all the blogs till date that have been published. But if I go back and add that feed again, it will convert the entire blog into the RSS. If you see this, there is an RSS on the top. This one. This is what I'm referring to. It converted the entire blog into an XML format. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. Coming back. So what I've told my flow this time is, this is the RSS feed that we are going to use. For the property, choose the publish date. That means as soon as the blog is published and not updated, but you are free to use the updated on. Or if you're very specific for a date, you can use custom value. I was specific for a published date, so I've used it. Now, whenever this is going to be published under Power Automate, whenever a new blog is being published, go into Twitter and post it, right? So the tweet text is this I've created. You can type it freely. And then the feed title and primary feed is coming from the RSS. So if you see here, if I scroll below, there are multiple dynamic values that I'm getting. So I make use of the primary feed link, that is the URL of the blog, and the feed title, the title of the blog that has been given. And then I added all my hashtags at the end. So this way, whenever a tweet is posted, I would get a notification myself that your tweet was successfully posted. This way, whenever I get time, or if I'm free at that second or at that moment, I can go and read the Power Automate blog. There are some advanced options for the media, but since I don't want any media to be posted by default, I've kept it aside. I'm not using it. Coming to the LinkedIn, this is a preview one again. This is not to be used in production, but this is for personal use, so I've used it. The content URL is mandatory field, and the visible to guest is also a mandatory. This is the URL that I've used, primary feed link, to map it. This is for the blog URL, and I've kept it visibility as yes, because yes, I want everyone also to know about that information. Then I've kept the rest of the items as blank, and then I've mapped the text field. In LinkedIn, the text field is the area which get posted on the LinkedIn. Again, I've used the feed title and feed summary this time. Okay, and the link is automatically pasted, so it will give me the summary this time, and the entire post is posted whenever a new blog is posted on the LinkedIn. So let's just say I've not confused you there and you're still with me. So this is one of the example of RSS feed. Let me go back. So if I come back on the flow, right, you can see I've also put a description. So let me just quickly edit this and update my description. You can, there is this way you can also update the flow name. The first one I showed you earlier directly from the designer page. This is from the details section. So take an RSS feed and tweet them out is like a half cooked description. So let me say take a RSS feed. I'll say Power Automate RSS feed and post it on Twitter and LinkedIn. Okay, please also note this is a per user plan by default since it's a free account. This would come into a licensing picture which I'm not going to talk about today. So I'm going to save it, and as soon as this is saved, please note the description is updated. This was first created back in the May month, so that's the reason it's giving me all those details. The status is the mandatory field that is necessary because it is telling you that your flow is in working condition and is active. There is a button called turn off. So if I turn it off, it will also give you an error that there is a potential problem with the flow and the status will be off. Okay, this means that even if now at this very moment a new blog is posted on the Power Automate, it will not post on my Twitter and LinkedIn. So let me turn it back on. All your connections are listed over here. Also, since it's a free plan, the owners are not visible. Otherwise, in a fair scenario where this is a development environment or a production environment, the owner will be someone who created this flow, and then there is an option for you to share this with your entire team. If you come below, you will see the history, how it has been doing, and what is the duration run. So the duration is also another field for you to check if you know that your flow was running or your flow was running for a long time and you have to get the improvement done. And the status is of course success or failure based on how it ran. If you want to copy this flow, you can always do a save as, and then it will save a copy for this flow. Okay, since it's a free account, I am not be able to share any flow. So otherwise this share option is always available. Going back, so this was my RSS. All right, I am going to show you something on the Excel. What I have done over here is I have an Excel template. Okay, let me also show you Excel on the OneDrive. Let me quickly open it. Okay. By the time it is opening, I am going to give you a high level of the flow, what it is doing. I want to list all my records in that Excel file and send it back to me on an email. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is the Excel file first. Please see, I have an Excel file with 5 columns listed the books for now. There's a description about those books and the status of the book, whether it is in to-do or in progress state. Okay, this is some similar to a test data that I've created for the demo. If I go back, there is a recurrence one. If you remember, this is nothing but this is your cloud schedule flow, right? So this is a recurrence that gets added. I'll come back to it, but on a high level, let me run it first and then we can see. When you want to run it before, irrespective of the occurrence, there is a button called test. So you click on test, then you click on manually. I'll come to the test section also, and then you confirm it again that you want it to run. Okay, once it is running, it will give you a notification that your flow ran successfully, and it will, if you see all the green text and there are 0 1 seconds, so the 1 second is the amount of time it took for the records to get it back from the Excel to this flow. Okay, and as a last step, an email would have been received in my inbox. So let me just quickly check. I did receive it, and if you see, I have it. Okay, so let's see in detail about this flow. I'm going back to edit. The reoccurrence, what it is telling me that I want to run it on the South Africa time zone, which is my time zone, and then I want to run it at 7:15. All right, and what specific days I'm looking for? Monday to Friday. I don't want it to run on weekends and unnecessary bother my entire team, right? Okay, sending that emails when it is no longer used, and also it's a weekend, family time, so let's not scare people with those emails. Okay, the frequency could be a month, day, hour, minute, depending upon the need. I've kept it as week. If I change it to month, okay, so it will run every 1 month. Sorry, just once in a month, my bad. So I'll change back to week. I will update Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so I've done that. I need it to run it at 7, and you can do it as 00, otherwise 15 for 15 or 30 for 30, like that. There is also an option of edit note. This is your comment section, so always make sure to add those comments because those are important. I've saved it back. Okay, so that's safe. Once I've decided when this flow will trigger automatically, I want it to get all those values from this Excel, right? And get the flow do its work. So what I've done is I've made use of the Excel Online. How do I added it? I just went here, typed Excel, and it's gonna run. And if you see, there are Excel Online for business and the OneDrive. Since I'm using my personal one, I'm going for OneDrive. Excel Online will be for your office use. If you see over here, Excel OneDrive, it will list you all the actions that are now available. So it has a delete option, it has a get a row, worksheet. I'm using this list rows present in a table, specific action. You can also update or create a table in that matter. All right, so I'm going to dismiss this. I've given what book I need to use. This book name is the file name of my Excel. The table is this table that I created. I did not name this table, right? So if I do this, this is one table. If I click on table design on the Excel, I know this is table 1. This is the name of the table, right? So it is specifically for this table only. I'm going back to flow. There are some extra options available for you to filter and query your data, but I'm not going to do it for now in this matter. There are some limitations also with respect to these filter query or top order by or select query. Make sure to read those limitations and before using this. In today's scenario, I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. I'll come back to the filter array. So let me delete it for now. The deleting option is also very simple. You just saw how easily I deleted a step that I no longer needed. So what I did was just click on those 3 ellipses and delete. But for now, since I've deleted it, the select became blank. Otherwise, the select was the value to be taken from previous one. Okay, why the need for select came over here and why not immediately send an email? I'll tell you shortly about it. The reason I'm doing a data operation, the select is coming from data operation. So let's quickly show you that data operation. This is a data operation. You can compose, create a CSV file and table, filter your array, do a join if you want with those data. The reason I'm doing a data operation of select for now is I don't want all those 5 columns from my table. Okay, I'm very specific about the ID of the book, the name of the book and the status of the book. The from is to be taken from the previous step. So on my dynamic values, I'm going to select the value of the items. Okay, so all the values that are coming from the Excel is going to be listed over here, and then I'm very specific about getting these columns. Okay, then there was an operation of getting an HTML table, so I got that. Please note I'm using the output of the select now and not the table from the Excel directly, because I'm very specific about the columns being used. Okay, but if I don't want this, I can directly go ahead and use the values directly. It's gonna give me all the 5 columns. So you have an option over here that you only want specific columns in your Excel. From your Excel into your email, you can use this select data operation to perform that functions. Okay, columns I've chosen automatic in this step because I have already mentioned my columns in the select operation. Okay, so my HTML is now done. I have a compose. Why I have a compose, I'm gonna show you shortly. Let me run this again now. Let's test it. The test is a quick preview of how the flow will run when it is actually done development. So this is testing of the flow. I've run the flow. Everything is green. So if I go to the select option, you see I get the O data tags right on the input and the output. On my input, since I've now chosen the tags, I would like to show you that I received all the columns, okay, as an input since it was there. But if I go on my output, I only have 3 columns which I've mentioned in the column. So this is the beauty of the select operation, that you only need the columns. And if you also noticed, I changed the column. There was a column in between the name of the book and the status, which was description, right? So I've totally skipped this column because I no longer needed it in my email. So all those unnecessary info, irrelevant info that is not required from an email perspective, you can skip it as well. So that's about it. Coming to this, since the email would have come to me, let's check. The email came. If you see the difference, there is a body. I'll talk to you about it shortly. This is one table and this is another table. Okay, if you see, there is a thing called HTML output. This, if I use the output from the HTML step directly, and this is what I have done to compose it. Let's move back to the flow. Sorry about this. Yeah, let me edit it. So this section is making use of the select output, okay, because we have just minimized the use of columns, and then it's giving me an HTML table. The HTML table it gave is this one, but it is no longer needed, right? Because it does not look good. It has the border missing and whatnot. So go back, I have added a compose one, and it has a replace statement. What the replace statement is doing, I've put that replace in, yeah, so I've put the replace over here, this one. The replace is replacing the body. There are 3 replace, right? So the first replace is replacing the body of the HTML. In the body of the HTML, it is replacing the table tag with div style overflow, and it is giving it a border with a style. So I would like to pause here and just want to talk to you about the HTML parts. If you're not good at HTMLs, don't worry. You can always visit w3schools.com. Sorry about the typo. You can always visit w3schools.com for your HTMLs, and you will slowly and surely learn it. So that's no worries. I'm also not good at HTMLs, but that's where I got it from. So on the first replace tag, in the body of the create HTML, I have replaced my table with a div tag, okay, and a table border. Let's just say it's giving a border, okay. The second replace is closing the table tag and the div tag which I've added. The third replace is for the table height and giving it a styling of dark blue and white. So that means this blue and white is coming from that compose. Okay, so that's the reason it is looking like this. Going back to my flow, then once I'm finally happy with the outcome, right, I'm adding here email. So I sent an email to myself. I added a format date time. I can remove it also if not required, or if you want to add any expression, use this expression side. Okay, and you can say format, and if you see the IntelliSense started working, so you click on it and then it will also tell you what now it is waiting for it. If you see utc.now, and then you can give it a format that you want. I'm giving year, month and date. Please note, for month it is capital M and not the small m, otherwise you will be busy searching about what is small m and capital M, which I was scratching my head off literally because it was giving me 0 for milliseconds anyway. And then I clicked on OK and it was here, the format date time. Okay, so that's how you use expressions inside a Power Automate. But I don't want it for now. In here on the body, I've used the outputs. One output is from my compose and the other output from my HTML table. So that's why there was a difference in the two outputs of those tables. Okay, I no longer need the HTML output. I am deleting it and I'm happy with my email body, right? So let me save it. This is saved. Let's check. So let's test it. Done. The flow is running, the flow ran. I just want to show you how I get the compose thing, right? So if you go over here and if you see the input and output, you will easily see how it gave you the output, right? But if you go on raw inputs, sorry, that was the name of the book. Here on the outputs, there is a tag, the create HTML, and you can copy this whole thing in the table format. So this the body is a mix of HTMLs right now, which is used for table formatting. Okay, so close it. Let's go check an email. So if you see, the date is gone and it gave me the entire data that was there. So I had two rows, 1 and 2 for Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. It gave me both of them. Now I don't want all of the data, right? I only want the to do ones. So let's filter now that data. There are two ways of doing it. Either let me just click edit first. So either you can filter the data from the Excel one, but I don't want to filter there because it may be possible that I have a lot of data in my Excel, in my production environment, let's say that, and it's gonna take a lot of time filtering and querying the data on the Excel level. So instead, I would bring all the data and add a filter query. The filter query was under data operation. So I'm gonna do a data operation, then select for filter array. Okay. Over here, I want to use the values from the tables. So I click on that. Over here, I want to use the status column. It should be equal to do. So it's gonna list me all the arrays from my status where the value is to do. Before I save it, I want to show you that on the select, I still am doing a value. That means it was coming from the Excel. So now instead of doing a value, I want to use this output, the values with only to do. So I'm going to remove this value. On the dynamic section, I want to use a body. Okay. If you notice, since I've removed it and it was a mandatory one, the flow checker gave us a warning, a red dot appeared. If I click on the red dot, it is telling me that from is required. Okay, and if I click on the from again, it will show you the show you and highlight you the exact step of it. So let's just select body. Okay, and save. So this is saved. Let's test it quickly. So my flow runs successfully. Let's check on the filter array. On the inputs, I have both of them. Okay, and with my all the columns, all 5 columns. On the output of filter, I only have one which has a status of to do, but I still have all 5 columns. Why I have 5 columns? Because the columns are mentioned in the select query. So if I go on select now, I see the input still has 5 columns. Okay. If I go on output, my output has 3 columns. So this is how you will, use data effectively as per need and make use, or let's say make your reporting effective and remove all the unnecessary and irrelevant information. So I'll click on edit here. Since I did run it, I would have received the email by now. So if you see, the email only has a one value with status to do. I'll go back. If I click here, the recent status is like when it ran on 3rd. So if I click on that, it will also save that stats for me for 28 days, right? So I can always go back and see for what value did I run, what was the value, how, to whom the email was went to. So the body will be in the HTML format. If you see, the BR tag is here, right? So that was it from my side. I'll go back. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Please don't forget to make use of Power Platform. Come say hi to everyone on the community and enjoy your learning space. I thank you, Cloud Marathon Lunch and Learn team, again for your all support and love. Do follow them on Twitter. Come say hi, tag them, tag us, and show what you're learning from your Power Automate journey. Thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.